Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clark.
And I'm Elka Clark. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold $15 million and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created our signature course, the Profit by Design Academy, which teaches our 5 strategies for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't helping creative entrepreneurs just like you create profitable e-commerce businesses, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you, the creative, can take to make money in your e-commerce business on Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to achieving freedom with your time, location, and finances.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of, as long as you work smarter, not harder. And we're here to give you the tools you need to make your dreams happen. Let's get started. Well, hey there, it's Elka.
And Jen, and welcome to another episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast. And today we are talking about banishing creative blocks for Zazzle creative designers.
Yeah, and actually it's for anyone who's creative, who continue to be creative and put more creativity out there in the world. But we do have an affinity for Zazzle because that's where we have monetized our creativity on this platform, this e-commerce platform. And we've been enjoying that for 14 years and have sold over $15 million worth of Zazzle products, which I'm sure you've heard us say before. Mm-hmm. Okay, so today we want to help you because we've got techniques that we want to show you as to how we banish that creative block, because creativity is our livelihood, right? Mm-hmm. So we want you to also be in a position where you can almost like turn the tap on or never turn the tap off. All right, so let's get into the 3 points.
Okay, so let's get into the 3 points. So the first point is how creative blocks can affect you. The second point is why creative flow is key. And the third one is our easy system of journals that you can use to banish creative blocks forever from your life as a creative entrepreneur.
Sure, why not? Say forever. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with point number 1, how creative blocks can affect you.
Mm-hmm. Well, as creatives, we are very much focused in the fact that we, first of all, maybe want to become sort of perfectionists, or we need everything to be very, in tune and perfect with an alignment with who we are as a creative designer or as an artist, photographer, graphic designer, whatever you may be. And so when we have a creative block, it basically paralyzes us, right? And we're not able to move forward because we're so focused on the fact that we want to perform and show up and give our best work. But sometimes we just physically can't because we are so stuck in our own mindset block where we just feel like we can't create and we're not able to. And that might be because we're affected by the weather or by our mood or by certain situations happening around us, like maybe family situations or friendship situations, or even work-related situations, Zazzle-related situations if you're not making any money and you feel like artwork isn't good enough. So we have a lot of creative blocks that can affect us that actually stop us from actually performing and showing up as a Zazzle designer.
Yeah. Well, Jen's mentioned all the types of possibilities, but how is it's so key because we as creatives have to tap into that flow of creativity. That's if you've ever done something where even though you have the skills, or even maybe you don't have the skills, and all of a sudden you've created something, whether it's a poem or a song or a painting, or you've just been on tap when you're out doing a walk or something and you've got your camera with you and you just take that perfect picture and you go the universe was aligned. And it's well, no, but you were also they are visually able to tap into that site. Mm-hmm. Most people would walk past that site, but you didn't because you were tapped into that creative flow. So it's much more than just the production. It's also the tapping into it so that you can actually see it the way the creatives see things. And then that's what creatives do. They actually translate the creativity that they see into forms that others can appreciate. And so we want that to stay open. And because it's closed, when you have a block, it means that you're not just getting intuition and inspiration as to what to make and what to produce, but you're also just, everything else is tapped down, like shut down, and you can't tap into something anymore. And so the blocks can affect you in such ways that are not just in the production stages of your creations. They're also in just your decision-making process, your total overall feeling in terms of how you are as a person. As Jen mentioned, like when you all of a sudden don't get a sale on Zazzle, or like your favorite painting just got put up on tote bags, and you just kind of go like, why has this not sold? And you take it personally, right? You don't say, there hasn't been someone looking for aspen trees from Colorado, and they don't need a tote bag right now anyway. Instead, they might need it a month from now, and then they might look, right? But in the meantime, we as artists are saying things like, wow, my painting must not have been good enough, or I didn't pick the right colors. Or you can really get into the details, and it's always something that you've done, which isn't even the case, right? So that then translates into a complete shutdown of us as creatives. We're already empaths. We're already really sensitive to everything. And we have to really get that balance going. And that's why we're going to teach you the 3 methods that we've got lined up for you. But really, 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 really pay attention to that when your mood drops. It's probably because your creativity has been blocked and you didn't even notice it, right? It's not just when you're doing production. It's also just your being, because you as a creative, you're like this beacon of inspiration from the universe. And if it shuts down and you shut down, then you don't even feel good, because you're not the same person. You're all of a sudden like, you don't feel as alive. And so it really affects us, obviously. Okay. So why creative flow is key? I think we're transitioning into that already anyway, right? Obviously you want to be able to function at your highest level of being an amazing creative, because if you want to get really spiritual and look at this from a point of view of why you're here and why you're able to do this artistic work in whatever form that is, and translate it to give it to others who can't actually even see that or translate that feeling or that vision, then you realize you're like a messenger. And creatives should start thinking of themselves like that. Because guess what? When someone comes and looks at your sculpture, painting, photography, anything, even if it's just a surface pattern or something, people are reacting to it, right? They get an emotional charge of some sort. It could be a positive or a negative, but it's still an emotional reaction. And why? Because you have communicated to them through your artwork or your creativity. And so if that gets shut down, then we're in trouble, right? First of all, we can't continue to give that gift. And secondly, we can't monetize it because we're stifled. And even sometimes when we are stifled and we push out that creativity, the vibes are there that this was forced. Yeah. And you'll see that if you push, let's just bring it back to Zazzle and say that, okay, let's say you had a lot of fun creating this one design and you're excited and you show others and they're like, Jen, look at my design. This is awesome, isn't it? And so there's a lot of cool, positive energy that goes with that. And I meant cool as in awesome. But if you're instead sitting there going, oh, shoot, I just have to make another 100 products because Jen and Elka told me to, because that's part of their strategy. And I just got to get those out. And well, whatever it is, I'll just do it. And then those 100 products, maybe one maybe sells or not even any. Whereas that one that you just worked on and you enjoyed and you got all excited about it, that starts to sell for whatever reason. And it is exactly whatever reason, but it's the positive energy that's gone behind that, right? So your creative flow is so important because it literally tags on to the actual design, even if that's on a virtual level in terms of digital. It really does make people react emotionally depending on what energy you've delivered that out with. Yeah. And if your creative flow is stuck, then obviously that energy isn't going to be the same amazing energy that helps people react to your work in such a positive way, an exciting way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely.
And of course, we need to monetize it, right? So in that, I hope that you understand that if someone really loves something, and this is where the artists usually go and say, well, I love my painting. All my friends told me my painting was amazing. So now I'm trying to sell it on Zazzle and it's not working. Well, that's different. That's marketing. your painting is still amazing. You just haven't positioned it properly, right? That has nothing to do with creative flow. The creative flow came with your painting that has already affected so many people that told you, I love it. Whereas when you have it on the Zazzle platform, you've got to do some more marketing to show people where it is and what it is. And do they want it on a tote bag? Maybe they don't. Maybe they want it as a canvas print or whatever. And so that's the strategy that you as a designer have to take into account and work with. But that's way beyond what we're trying to talk about here. We're trying to say that we need to get those amazing positive energy, total emotional, visceral reaction type creativity like things, whether they're paintings, photography, if you're not on Zazzle, if you're doing like sculptures or handcrafts or whatever, people will know that because there'll be like this feeling of love and positive energy behind it. And so that's what we're working on today. But as I said, if you've had that happen before where you post a painting up and it's even sold already, so you just have the digital copy and then people love it who've been around you, they love it because they love your work and they already are sold on you. And so now what you need to do is a little bit more marketing for that. That's a little bit different than just the creative flow.
Yeah.
All right. So basically we're here to monetize your creativity. And if your creativity is blocked or you're creatively outputting things, but they're not coming from source or from, sort of intuition or just like the best that you like when you're on fire or whatever you want to use as an expression of when you painted or took that picture or did something creative where all of a sudden you realize, wow, that was my best work. Then your flow is blocked. So what we want to do, and it's not just that you have like one or two outputs, the key is to continually tap into that connection so that you can keep diving further into the communication of how that creativity ends up in your brain and translated out in whatever you do, whether it's a hand painted or through photography or whatever. And so here's our solutions.
So we have 3 different journals that we are willing to give you an example of so that you can see which one maybe work for you. We use one or all 3. And they're all...
I highly recommend actually all 3.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Definitely. No, of course. All 3 are definitely important. And you can either have 3 different journals or 3 sections of journals. We're going to show you 3 different examples of different journals that we've kept and the different uses for them. So there's a gratitude journal, an accomplishment journal, and an inspirational journal. And all 3 of them have different purposes, obviously, and they're all going to help you in different ways to help you with those creative blocks so that you forevermore don't have them.
Have you heard about the Profit by Design Academy coaching program yet?
Are you a new or current Zazzle designer who is struggling to figure out how to make Zazzle work for you? Worried that you're wasting your time using the throw spaghetti against the wall to see if it sticks method? And unsure how you can start and scale your Zazzle business to reach your first 5K month?
Then the Profit by Design Academy coaching program is the perfect solution for you. You will feel confident, supported, and clear on how to create your dream Zazzle business.
Imagine having the exact 5 strategies that we use to build and scale our Zazzle businesses, which have sold over $15 million worth of Zazzle products so far.
And it's not just us. The 5 strategies taught in the Profit by Design Academy coaching program and the coaching support have helped our clients sell over $6 million worth of Zazzle products so far.
Head to the show notes to grab the link and we'll see you inside the Profit by Design Academy coaching program. Now let's get back to the show.
So the first one is a gratitude journal. And this one, you can definitely do daily entries and any happy thought about life, about, your work, about whatever, X to A, B, or C in terms of like whatever works for you, but any type of, gratitude that you have towards anything in your life. And this will remind you of the positive things that are going on around you. And it doesn't have to be anything actually even tangible as well. It could be, the sound that the wind makes throughout the trees and how you appreciate that, or how, when you wake up in the morning and you watch the sunset and that feeling that gives you. Any sort of positive thing, whether it be tangible or intangible, you can definitely write that in your gratitude journal. And what Elke and I have done recently and previously as well is, either make a list of 5 to 10 things, and don't pressure yourself to, write chapters and chapters of all these gratitudes. Maybe pick certain number that works for you during the day. And then also, if you want to have some focus on it, you can pick a certain topic so that if you are sort of blocked within your gratitude journal, you can start by saying, okay, let me talk more about the feelings that I have in the morning when I wake up. And it's sort of that peace and calm, and I'm having my morning coffee while watching the sunrise kind of thing. Or you can talk about your family or your friends or certain experiences that you've had.
Yeah, or even like body functions. So you can say, I'm really grateful for the heart that pumps the blood through my body and keeps me alive. Like it can literally be anything. Just if you're stuck, like as Jen said, blocked for your gratitudes, just pick something that you can focus on and then just dive deeper. And you only need to come up with about 5 things. And one of the things that this does is not only in the moment allows you to become more grateful and more aware of things, but it also allows you to go back. I love going back and reading things again, especially when I'm in one of these blocked moods and modes, because that it's like, oh, I said that on that day. And it's like, well, it's still happening. I just kind of, because I'm overshadowed by my block, my mood is not allowing me to at least believe that those are still things I'm grateful for. And I am. So then you can reverse it,
sometimes you forget about those things too, right?
Yeah.
If you're, as you said, if you're overshadowed and you're very focused on one specific thing that may be negative or a block, then when you go back and you read your gratitude journal, you remind yourself of all of the things that you did appreciate in that moment. And it's a very nice reminder. And so get a journal that either has some sort of inspirational sayings on the front or, inspires you or prompts you. So this one that Elke has, it says, envision greatness, laugh out loud often, seize every opportunity, be creative. Today is the day. Think freely, don't wait for tomorrow, and make your heart sing.
And even those themselves are like prompts and affirmations. And that gets you started, and then you start to feel like life is good. Look at this. Like this entire journal, if it makes you just feel good reading it out loud. So try and get something like that, or at least something that inspires you, like with a picture or whatever that you resonate with and makes it your favorite place to put all your gratitudes.
Yeah.
And what else do? We date them every time. And if you feel like it, then just do like a page per day. And I like to actually, because we travel a lot, I like to actually put where I am doing my gratitudes. So it's fun because it's like, oh, in this place on this date, this is what I was thinking. And that also brings back memories, and it helps basically affirm your previous gratitudes that can be then brought into present day.
Yes. Yes. And also at the end of them, you can do this practice too, but if you have all of your gratitudes and you say the things that make you happy or things that are positive in your life, and then at the end, you can sign it off and say thank you in
3 times.
Three times in repetition, just so that it actually, really drills in the fact that you're very grateful for all of these things that are positive in your life.
So let's recap. So we need a gratitude journal, something that's inspiring if you want something on the cover. Otherwise, it just at least know that this is your gratitude journal. Pick about 5 to 10 things a day that you can daily write about and say, I am happy and grateful for, or thankful and grateful for. And then you can write what it is. And it can be a theme related thing if you can't just free flow information. And it can be the same things over and over again the next day. Just don't copy. But if you want to just say again, over and over again, thank you for my perfect health or something like that, you're more than welcome to do that. You don't have to come up with new things every day. And then at the end of each entry, whether you date it or put the place on or not, doesn't matter, but the date would be good. And at the end, you say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, either write it out, which I would recommend, or at least say it. And that way you are reaffirming all those grateful things that you've just written down.
Okay, so the next one is our accomplishment journal. So you do it daily or at least weekly. And anything that you've accomplished, either big or small. And we like to say big or small, but big or small really has no it's not like in quantifiable amounts, because my big accomplishment could be, something different to Elke. So whether it's big or small to you, but each accomplishment is still a huge accomplishment. Okay. And this will remind you that you're moving forward and have accomplished a lot throughout the day or throughout the week. And it doesn't have to be anything particularly within your business, but it can definitely be related to Zazzle, whether that be sales or products made or, how you've improved improved your design skills or your business skills, but it's anything that you've accomplished in general. And this will make you feel good on all aspects and all, like the whole spectrum of your life, right?
Yeah.
Because
even like I read an art magazine, or I, painted a painting, or just anything. And it's not a to-do list. It's just, what are you happy about accomplishing? But then if you judge yourself too much, you might actually not have too many things. And this is not a guilt project. So you need to put things down. Maybe let's do 5?
Yeah.
5 things at least that you've accomplished today. That could be, I woke up. Okay. So let's just bring it down to bare basics. And if that's the case, then that's great. But if you want to go further and you do more like bigger things, but wherever you are in your creative block, you might actually be really low. And I want you to always feel that there's something that you've done that's an accomplishment. And then you can see your journey afterwards, because you're going to date these as well. And one of the things that you need to do is go back every so often. And when you're in a good headspace, then go back and say, hey, you know what? There were low times, but look where I am now. And then if you're in a bad headspace right now, where you really are quite low, then go back to journal entries where you're okay and where things feel like you were on top of the world in terms of your accomplishments. And you'll say to yourself, well, I've done this before, I can do it again. Okay?
Yeah.
So this one is a very important journal. Because it's not meant to put you on the spot or make you feel like you haven't accomplished enough. It's actually a tool for you to say, listen, I'm hard on myself. And look, I've done so much. Because we've all done really a lot of things. And it's so important that we recognize our small endeavors, especially with Instagram and TV. Everything has to be huge and wild and big. And why? It's our journey. And we have to remember that.
Yeah. And so grab yourself a journal that inspires, or not inspires you, but it doesn't have to have inspirational sayings or anything like that, but just something that sort of feels sort of almost like sacred.
Yeah.
Because this journal that I've got here, it's just very ornate, and it has a clasp on it and closes, and it just feels, like, what's the word that I want to say? But like,
special or extraordinary.
Yeah. Or something fun that inspires you. I have a Breakfast at Tiffany's one here too, which is also a really fun journal to give you your accomplishments. But this is the one that I've chosen, which is sort of like this, almost like a mandala design.
Yeah, and it makes me think of, Middle Eastern, like as if it's an old scroll.
Yeah, like one of those old, the old scroll, or the old books that you get in the library, and they have like all of the historians who like
have the secrets of the universe in them. Yeah, something like that, because your accomplishments are special. Just being on this earth is special. It's a miracle, actually. When you start to have health problems, you go like, wow, my body was functioning as a miracle level way before I started getting sick. And it's like, us being here are miracles. And so value yourself and value your accomplishments. And there are a lot of accomplishments that you can find, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. So to recap that, find a very special, ornate journal so that it really feels like this is the secret, the holy grail of your life. And then every day, or at least once a week, write in there and date the journal entry with maybe 5 little or big accomplishments. And they can be anywhere on the spectrum, right? Business, health, personal interactions with family. It doesn't matter. It's who you are, who you need to be to function as a creative, right? And all of those are important, right? A coffee with a friend can probably give you more inspiration and more lift in your life than you standing in front of an easel, for example, and painting a painting and saying, okay, I've done my job today. Obviously, they would still be like that painting would still be very inspirational, but it doesn't have to be related to the work. It just has to be you feeding yourself in terms of your soul and your physical body for the ability for you to be that creative conduit for others to see creativity that they can't see on their own. Okay. And then if you're down, you're going to go look at that and go like, wow, I did all these things already. And you're going to use that to motivate yourself. And if you're feeling great, then you go like, okay, so this is awesome. And remember that there's always a balance, and I'm going to be ready for when it's not so great. And I'm going to use my great entries to feel better. Okay.
Now the last one is the inspirational journal. And so this one, if you're a crafty person, then this will be like super fun for you. If you're not super crafty, then maybe just try it out and see how it works in with your flow, right? It'll be whatever you want in terms of an inspirational journal, but we recommend something that has no lines. So it's almost like a sketchbook type of thing. and that you can have notes, but it's more so like to take little, like either little quotes or inspirational sayings, but more so like clip outs of like magazines, or if you want to print out something, cut and paste. It's more like a mood board, but on paper. And I actually did this project when I was in university in my fashion design program. And it was so much fun to just go through all of the magazines and like cut out all of the most inspirational photos and like things that gave me inspiration. And one day I would go back and I would look at them and I would make collages, and you would then be inspired in terms of like color palettes or shapes or sizes or different things in terms of like stuff that you can use to help you create. And that's also to obviously counteract your creative blocks, so that if you're feeling stuck and you don't know where to start, this is something where you're, it's all yours and you've created it, and it'll inspire you in the way that you're inspired, right? It's a work in progress to help you figure out the way your brain works. Because you can definitely go on to Pinterest and find a whole bunch of like really cool pictures and things, but maybe that doesn't actually resonate with you as an artist or as a creative. And so this will be like your little sacred book of where you put all of your inspirational things.
Yeah, and if you're listening on the podcast, Jen's holding one of those like artist sketchbooks, the black covered ones, and then inside the pages are all blank.
Yeah.
And you can have it as a small book, or as like Jen's one for university was like, what is it, 2.5 by 3 or something like that. It was crazy big. And the things that she had in there were fun, because you get to like not just cut out pictures of people wearing clothes or something. She also just, cut out a little pattern of something that someone was wearing in a skirt, or like a piece of wallpaper or something. And she just kind of took these pieces and just stuck them on. And it's interesting because while you're just randomly putting things places, you're actually already creating. And so as the process went on, I could see as she moved further and further in the book, she already curated things a lot more as she got better at doing it. And so there were already like pieces together that matched, or there was several sort of interesting patterns going on. And like, you can get really creative and have a lot of fun with this. Now, obviously, if you don't want to, maybe you don't even get any hard copy magazines anymore, then that won't work for you, right? So obviously, Pinterest would be a really great alternative. Just create a private board that you can then grab information from all over the internet and pin it to your Pinterest board. And you can break it down as well if you want to, but with the boards, there's no entry time thing, right? It's just one big schmuck of things. And so in this case, and whenever you're watching this, you may or may not still have sections on Pinterest, but this is actually one place where you could, as a Zazzle designer, create sections, not for promoting your products, but for literally containing all the information that you have, or use sections for your weeks, right? So that you make sure that you definitely go into this journal at least once a week to do that creative process.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any more to talk about that one?
No, just have fun. And as I said, it can be you're doing sketches or cutouts or drawings, or even if you wanted to, write poems or however you work as a creative, it'll be like your little bundle of inspiration where you can flip through. And it's so much fun to look back and look at them, just to see that creative process, not only because you are an artist, but the fact that it's just a book of things.
Images,
and it has you don't have to worry about people judging you, or for it to make you money, or that it needs to be perfect. It's just sort of a bundle of whatever you feel like doing that day, right?
It's so freeing, right? And because it's freeing, it's allowing the judgment that we usually have as sort of gateway into our, tapping into that intellectual creative freedom. And it's gone. Like that gateway's like not blocked. And so therefore we can have so much fun. We can go down rabbit holes. We can have like a blast. And because we're having a blast, then we can tap into something even deeper in terms of our own creativity. And that's the exciting part.
Yeah. So we'll recap. So the 3 points that we covered in this podcast are how creative blocks can affect you, then why creative flow is key for your well-being, for your business, for everything basically in general, in terms of especially your Zazzle business and creating designs. But even if you're an artist, I mean, it's our livelihood, right? It's the way that we move throughout the world and throughout our journey on this earth, right? And then our 3 easy ways for you to journal and document certain things so that you can be creative or help those creative blocks go away. So the gratitude journal, the accomplishment journal, and the inspirational journal.
Yeah. And why we picked 3 is because that's what we've done. We've literally needed to have those as part of our process because we wear so many hats, right? We are a creative that needs to create. We are a being that needs to feel good on the earth in order to be creative. And we need to also manage a business, right? And so the gratitude one is us living here on this earth and being grateful for what we have. And so that we're always in a positive mindset. The accomplishment one is our business and our life in terms of who we are as creatives and what we plan on doing to monetize our creativity. And then the third one is our inspiration so that creative flow can never just get plugged up, right?
Yeah. So thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast. And we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur with Jen and Elka Clark.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to start and scale your Zazzle business so that you can have the passive online income to have location and time freedom to live your dream life.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more creative entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce business.
And don't forget to take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram stories and tag us at Miss Jen Clark and at Elka Clark. We'd love to hear your biggest takeaways from today's episode. See you back here next week.